morning, class. Welcome to Homeroom with Unc and Market Monk. Morning, P. How's your week?
Oh, it was good. Just kind of stuck to the pretty small list I've been hitting over and over. MSTR broke down a bit, had some puts there, so that covered me pretty well. But I've talked about how you have to trade that one like that if you're going to be in it. But yeah, pretty good overall for me. More selling on a few smalls and just building up a cash position, not really intentionally, but just looking for the next thing.
Nice. Yeah, still got the basket kind of spread out a little bit, which just helping. I don't know if it's helping take profit or helping not miss stuff, but either way, it's working. Couple range plays last week with just the ones that have been in the news with Lack and Open, and then had the day where all the lithium did well. So I've been parked in a couple of those, but just in general, the play is smaller position, and I kind of have a basket of ones that for me are consolidating but have range. And not necessarily trying to time them, but just saying thank you when it comes, and then keeping some in there for the secondary play or whatnot. But the you're not I'm not getting the I guess back lack of better terms, the four figure trades, but the $200 to $500 trades, and then another 10% on top of what I keep. Been a theme for
Yeah.
like last month and a half, and very comfortable. I always judge my trading on how good I sleep and how good quality of life's going in other aspects. So things are really good in that regards for me. The oxen's what did it for me, man. You told me there's gonna be
Yeah.
a 400-pound big bag of beef for me on my side.
Yeah.
So doing well with that. Now I'm not. I said it last week, and I'll probably just continue to say it at least once a week, if not every week. I ain't fighting it. I'm not gonna fight it. Just thank you, and until it
Yeah.
stops, So
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, and I think that for me, there were going into the year, there were I guess three trade ideas that I was kicking around, other than the continuation of quantum and AI and semis and all that. But the energy trade, that was like the big thing for me, and really my idea on that was that it'd be spread around a bit. That uranium was kind of the one that you know we kind of like pushed really hard early. Lithium was the one kind of, it's like keep this in your back pocket, park and wait. You might be waiting till 2027, but I like these in these spots, and that panned out, and the government getting involved when you're already in something tends to work out pretty well. When you chase it after they get involved, it can be harder. But I still, with where lithium is, we've seen the chart. I think I went over the chart just last week. Like I was like, damn, I kind of like this spot here. And and so that took off. And then there was gold and silver. Those have exceeded what I talked about. Good spot to just keep what you have. And then the last one is crypto, and we're gonna see towards the end of the year how that's gonna go. That obviously we did really well with crypto, that big election pump and all that. Um, the secondary move on it is sort of what I've been after, and that we've gone back and forth on. So that one remains to be seen, but already did pretty well there. Some of the smalls, they kind of went up for a different reason with the whole data center thing. So that was kind of a good catch on that as well.
yeah, just kind of bump off of that and scratch one of these notes off. We talked a little bit about Lack and Open and in the beginning there, especially since they're recent. But I mean, the Intel entry, we got that first 15-20% depending on your entry, and I mean, I'm not scared. I'll bring the chart up. There was always a bigger thesis in that play.
Yeah.
It's nice to have levels too, though. Just go ahead and say that, and then Halliburton as well. That was one of my favorite notes. Let's not forget about the Halliburton note.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
weekly's gonna fuck. Well, that's I mean on a chart like that, that's what you look for is a breakout like that, and dividend stock, you're gonna be okay. And the same with Boeing if you even want to go shorter term. I mean, it's all about finding the setup that is most likely to move and have range for me. And it, it's
Yeah.
it's not hard to do. It's harder to manage. It's always been my angle. So you need to manage your emotions and imagine your account, and then have build a style around that. And we're just in a market that I don't see. I mean, maybe it's just me that I don't see how anyone could be doing bad. I mean, unless you're just
Yeah.
zoomed in on a minute chart, because even a horrible entry usually becomes a high or low, or or something like that at some point in time. So I just seen a lot of people
Yeah,
get
I mean
like the. I'm still kind of thinking about the SOC, like getting shook out of that, and then not wanting to trade that again. Or currently, I mean, it came up in our room last week. Oh my God, SOC needs to hold here. No, don't just keep fucking buying it. Like treat it like a bill. It's gonna break out. The read's 40 on it. It's not that hard.
yeah.
So
Right, true. And then, the for me a lot of stuff from the kind of big idea trades are just they're just so far gone that like I can't like IBM, I have what I have
yeah,
and
sure.
was just talking about that.
Well, Snow,
Honeywell
Snow,
could kind of come back.
CrowdStrike.
No, yeah, yeah, Snow. I mean, right. So yeah, Snow, even though I think it's going 300 plus, it still sucks to buy it up here
You gonna
to
buy
me.
Roku?
Yeah,
100.
right, right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I threw Roku out there in the last five the other day just to sort of because the read's pretty strong, but it's when the read on Roku is 30% up, even where it came from. I don't like that room down below. And SAS is kind of the same thing. And I mentioned that I thought that in this environment that the SAS stocks are going to have the steepest pullbacks and the best rallies. But
Mm-hmm.
even so, that I'd rather go for the ones that are still a little bit beat up and consolidating around a level I trust a bit, rather than the ones that already ran 50, 70%. Um,
Well, what?
they might raise half that down, but it's still don't go for that.
Well, what? I mean, so you get the. I mean, that's Roku's a good example for me because
Yeah,
I feel a certain way about it. But I mean, you get 100% move out of it, right? Like, it's a pretty
yeah,
vicious move within a year. Within the year, and if you're looking for more, I would always go look at a reason to get more. And the easiest thing is going to be some news around some money, and they're just not profitable. Um,
yeah.
so if you're gonna look for a play to continue, I would look for the plays that are profitable because they're gonna have something to build upon and already kind of be out of it. And you see that in charts. I mean, I mean, look at the Mag Seven. That's why they're the Mag Seven. It's because they're profitable.
Or
you're not gonna have a Mag Seven company that has a red bottom line. It's just not gonna happen.
right, right. Or you have the ones where you take Peloton from 4 to 8,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like, okay, now we're in a new setup, and it's 8 to 20 or well, whatever it is. I'm thinking these are like option strikes. I know the numbers are more specific, but um, yeah, that's a little easier. Much more so than you get lemonade early and take it 30 plus, and it's like, okay, now I'm going to take it to 90.
Mm-hmm.
It can happen, but I don't know. It's
It it's funny you
it's pretty.
go ahead, finish.
Okay, yeah. Oh, it's I mean, it's like once in a while you get your Palantir, you get your Carvana. Um, they're outliers. It's not typical. And when people start making comparisons, you cannot compare Palantir to Lemonade. They're not the same thing. Like they don't. The sector's not the same. What's driving it's not the same. Did well on both. Love them both, but it's just different. And people just love to just put one chart on top of the other and draw a vertical line, and oh, this is where it's going. If you're already in it, feel free to daydream about that. But entering up there is a different story to me.
I think entering um, needs to be changed to finding a good ratio.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, because it just sounds you're not just looking to buy. You need to find the setup, and for me, the setup is the ratio. Um, yeah, the previous comment, Piton is a great example because they're going from negative to positive on their earnings reporting. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the companies I always look for in general because again, they're going to be making money, and that's usually most important in stocks. I want to talk a little bit of no, while we're here, while we're talking stocks, let me yell at you for a minute. Good cop, bad
But
cop.
yeah.
A little Unk and P. Um, don't take it. Don't
What,
take it.
what's the ticker first? What
Oh,
is there? Is there?
I'll be very specific, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
A little good cop, bad cop, a little mentor action. Don't take it too personally. Why the hell are you trading backside so much? And I know the answer, but I think other people need to know. And I am definitely talking about Lulu in phase, and I'll kind of give you a little break on MSTR, but
Okay.
really Lulu and in phase. What are we doing? We're in a bull market, and we're trading these charts that are just bleeding out slowly.
Because the options are distressed. So the like you get cheap option panic sellers, and the Greeks are favorable. That's the uh, that's the main that's the main reason on that. No, that's the main reason on end phase. Um, Lulu is uh, a DCA, gonna weather it, buy some pain, check on it, in 3 years. Um, but that's I guess that's part of it. Um, I also just a lot of the stuff I trade like option side. I don't like the IV on it right now. It's just too high. So so that's kind of the main reason. I think in taking that into account, um, probably should be looking a little more at the Procter and Gambles and Pepsis and things like that for option notes. Johnson and Johnson. I just if the market's going to stall and and kind of calm down, I'm trying to get into ones like that. MSTR, I will say that one is purely the pivots. Like that's
That's the way you read
the
it.
only thing.
Um,
Um, and and it's just that the when you have the short expiration options and you're getting these days where it drops 9%, um, that far exceeds anything you planned on the upside. And so, you just take the win and
how
close it all and move on.
how big is that window? You know what I mean by that? Like I
That's
don't know the math, but the contracts a dollar dips down to
oh,
30.
okay,
Then
yeah,
it's
yeah.
beat to
So
shit. How long do you have? How big's the window?
so the weekly put, it's a weekly put usually. And by weekly, I usually by Wednesday I'm on the next week's one. So within the whole trade itself is like a 3 to 6 day window.
Okay.
And there is a point of if it has a couple of under 1% days in a row, you're going to take a loss on that trade, no matter what, probably. But overall, given you have to just be patient for the pivots. You either, if you think it's going to flush to a pivot, you might grab a quick one there. I usually set the put at the pivot, and that put is like $600 or $800, and then calls. I usually have about 2 grand of calls 3 weeks out, something like that, and then yeah, you just sort of manage. You figure out, uh, when to sell, roll, etc. So it's a grad school kind of trade, but made a little easier given what MSTR has been doing. Enphase, I bought Enphase at $32. I will say that, and so a lot of what I'm doing with it now is kind of um, is trade maintenance and buying some options into a strong move. But it if Enphase goes up 7%, it's probably going down 5% the next day. That's just how it's been. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, to answer your question, it's there isn't get the this bull market like this is not really the best thing for options trading to me. So I'm looking for different setups in option trading and then enjoying the bull market share side. That's basically what I'm doing.
Perfect. Yes or no? Yes or no? Will Enphase be $32 again?
For fun, I'll say no.
Oh man, that should have been quick. Yes. And you know what? You know what? You know what brought? Sorry. You know what brought this up? Like really,
What's that?
what made Unc go motherfucker?
Yeah, what's that?
Our perfect, just perfect fucking Boeing read. Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. And I didn't see a note. I didn't see a note. That's what it was. I was
Oh,
like, how?
like an option note for
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I got you. I will say
yeah.
with solar, I bought a hell of a lot more First Solar than Enphase. So that'll be my defense there. When that one's done extremely well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the
But
difference between like buying a weekly or buying whatever, but or a monthly or a leap, but I'm
yeah.
pretty sure a $9-10 move pre-market in Boeing does well for people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
All right, I'm done with there. Top and bottom. You have it. Another good question. What's your view on the top and bottom? I mean, we've worked forever, and you've seen things. How do you use?
Yeah.
What's your view, value, dislike, top and bottom of channels? Start that.
The well, I think the at the top of a channel is where I look for a new flow setup. It's like they got here and like
AG, perfect
what are they going to
example.
do? Yeah,
Perfect
right, right.
example for you.
So and I've had rereads on that. I think with some of those, it's probably good to stay on me. Hey, read this. Hey, read this. So I don't always I'm not
Boeing.
always on top of when they get in the channel or
Sorry,
when they
D.
when they complete the channel and all that. So
Yeah.
when I see you say that, I then go look at them.
So top
But
of channel, the top of the channel pullback, or when it gets to the top of the channel, or that's your better spot for me.
when it gets to the top of the channel, if it blows through it, um, I look for uh, if they all try to hit the exit at the same time, it's gonna go retest that very quickly. So that's where the sell to close calls are important on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think for yeah, here's what I would say. I would say the channel reads. It's good to ask me about bid side because if they're selling puts at that spot, the strike matches the top of the channel. It's going to go higher, and probably within a week or two. I mean like significantly higher. And if uh, if the bid side activity is mostly all selling off, it's gonna you know probably dip back below that and just park there for a bit. Not necessarily lapse, but yeah, that's sort of how I.
That's interesting because
Uh,
we kind of use it for that's probably the closest we use anything I've ever heard. Um,
oh yeah, yeah,
the reread part of it. So just in general, I mean, I auto RTL or RTL in general, just picking out. It's one or two price levels usually. I try not to have a ton of lines on my chart, but it's where the historical shares are. I use multiple time frame volume profile to figure that out, and the purpose of it in general was to find support and then the next level of support, and not a lot of volume or liquidity in the channel, just to kind of have a range to trade point A to point B. And like what Professor was just saying, when I found him, that changed at the top of the channel. Like, hey, wait, is there more? And the reason for me is very simple. I mean, I can explain why it is. Is there's definitely people that have share structure there or have bought shares there, and it's a lot of shares. So that could be like your ETFs and your funds and your retirement accounts, and they're not going to sell when they get right back to water, just probably because of taxes. There's no reason to come out of things for them. And
Yeah.
some people will sell right there, but your side can see the liquidity or a lack of liquidity in a strong level there, a lot. And I also take that same equation or that same setup into when we get to the bottom of the channel. That's where the sold puts come in. But the top of the channel reads have always been better because we're getting a lot of volume, a lot of activity and price movement in the stock, instead of consolidation on the bottom of the channel or low volume sell off to the bottom of the channel. So no, I'm for me, I'm glad we had the conversation because there's a stronger line of the two, um, in there. For me, I've always told
Yeah.
people to pick their own levels, even you, and I think we do a good, arguing about $2 or $3 sometimes. Sometimes it's a $20. Sometimes you're a smaller window than mine. Sometimes I have a MDB, right? Like I think I'm like
Yeah.
200 to 220, and then it's like 480, and you probably have three levels between 220 and 480.
Well, and the best level, the best ones are the brackets. When the pivots bracket your level, Tesla does
Yes,
that.
yes. If I
And
have 10 and you have 9 and 12, we're cooking.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's been good. I think, and we've been adding a lot of emojis. We are entering a phase of the market too, if the oxen want to keep going, where the OI wake up is going to be very significant in that the especially you get to the top of a channel, if some open interest is going to wake up at that spot. Um, that's a huge surge of relevant options that nobody bought recently. They've just been sitting there sometimes for a year or more,
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like now I got the whales are like, okay, I got something to work with here, and so they'll start to maneuver around those, and I actually, and this is where I think people who read flow kind of don't know what they're doing. They're only looking at fresh volume. That's the only thing they ever look at, and there's just so much more to it than that. I mean, especially the big leap expirations, the January stuff like that, and even March ones that they bought 6 months ago. Like
That
that that's a huge part of how options move the market that I think most people don't even really know about.
that's a good point that I've never thought of. But when we get to a price level, the like I said before, sometimes they don't sell the shares for various reasons. The options, just by what they are, will always get movement first. And
Yes.
I've never thought of that. I have never thought of that before. So,
Yeah, and Intel's the perfect recent example of that. I mean that move down on Intel was not anticipated. There were a lot of people off sides on that, and to just wait it out with the idea that we're either going to just take the loss on these, or it's going to come back and then we'll go from there. Well, it came back and now they're active again. So
well, that's why it
yeah.
gets so loud over there. I think too. Like,
Hmm.
and I don't have volume on the share side, and you're like, this is gonna go. That's
Yeah.
interesting because I kind of look at the share the way I'm looking for the consolidation and then the no sellers and more volume for the move
Right.
out, and you kind of just get the volume. That's interesting. I have to read you, so it's also helpful to me, right? And you have to read me,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's also helpful
Yeah.
to you. Um, what else do I have there? I wanted to say one more thing. Oh, very very important though for anyone that is kind of understands it, uses it, and wants to like level up. Every level that I have, and I'm sure P can explain it his way, the same thing because it's gonna make sense to him. Um, every level kind of has a tolerance or a stress level or a variance. In some stocks, that could be 10-15%. And what I mean by that, it's going to play in the price range around that level. On this move, it will have a zone around a level that it's looking for liquidity. And that's very important to figure that out as we go into levels, looking for the strength on on or around the level and looking for the range off of the level on this current consolidation and or figuring out the price range around the level.
Yeah. So I talk a lot about I mentioned if I when I use the term escape velocity, like that, a keeping a pivot relevant is
That's a
something you'll
yeah.
often see
There you go.
whales do, and so they'll I mean, I mean, you're just getting on to me for it, but it just happened with MSTR. So MSTR imploded for the day, was down 9%. It recovered to close over 300. Now that I'm not that big on like the number 300. If it was 299.98, kind of who cares? But uh, and the idea there is not for 300 to stay relevant, but for those pivots above the 317 and 334 where they're already in it, that they have to keep that, or they want to keep that relevant. So if they can kind of bounce it, they will, which is why I even bought a few shares when it did that, because I just saw that coming. But yeah, I mean the idea of they want to hold this option set up together, and then well, what do they have to do to keep that? I think as a trader, what you want to avoid, and I see people do this all the time. If SOC does have goes down 7% on a day, oh shit, we're cooked, it's over. You got to kind of know what you're in, and
Yeah.
not that big of a deal for it to do that. And open these, for these fresh rounds of open that happen are often after it drops pretty significantly, or hymns, or ones like that. Like, so again, you just kind of know what you're in that regard. If $70 SaaS stock drops 30%, that's a little different. You're gonna wait a while for that to come back, and love the mid candle rebounds on those,
Yeah.
but you have to. But yeah, that's different. So the stress tolerance on some of the like high beta small and mid caps is a lot larger, and I don't see the panic in the option world, other than the weekly traps that happen with those. But yeah, so I do look at that. I look for what's it going to take to break this option setup, and for so many stocks, they just don't really they don't really get there. And my final thing on it is where I talk about I need to come up with a better way to really explain this, because if people never seem to get it, I'm like, I got to figure out a better way to teach
Yes.
this, rather than like, you know,
You're a dumbass.
what's up with this class of dummies, right?
Yep.
I've
Yep.
learned that from teaching a long time ago, right? So this
100%.
rule of 20 is what I call it. And it's like, if and this is mostly for bigger stocks, but they tend to pivot around $20 from a psych level, both directions.
Okay. Okay.
Because if they get to that psych level, it's going to accelerate the direction against them. That LLY 720 breaks down, it's going to plummet well below 700. Might be very brief, but that's kind of where I look to trade around those $20 levels on a number of different stocks. And I reached that level not just because it's at 20. I've just noticed that the pivots tend to set up around there, and you get this option activity. So that's one kind of stress test that I look for. And when it loses those, it often takes, it might be a month before it gets those back. Um, so I have to wait for a fresh setup. But yeah, I need to find a way to explain that to people, because they're not getting it. But it's been very valuable to me, and it's what is kind of underneath a lot of the notes I write, that exact concept. So
Well, when you know the tolerance or the variance or whatever to it, um, it's not gonna get. You're not gonna be have as many scared comments. Like, oh my god, this is falling
yeah,
today. You'll have a little better idea, and then you'll hopefully see the not necessarily the DCA, but just the range, so you can DCA versus trying to get sucked in on one price. Um, when you were talking MSTR there, you were talking
Thursday was the day it. It
Okay.
dropped 9%.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, you were talking about it coming back above 300. I
Oh
got
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. That
So,
right. So late Thursday, I bought it. Yeah,
for Friday,
or just a
so
pop above 300.
yeah, so I'm an upside trader, so I really don't help on the downside stuff. But on if you look at Friday, pre-market low, pre-market high, secondary moves are safer. 13. I mean, I'll even throw the
Yeah.
1330 SMA in there if you want that in there too. But pay attention to those levels as well. I mean, they're huge. They're just so huge. If you don't have levels and you're coming in fresh, especially on the bigger guys, um, pre-market low, pre-market high are usually your best friend.
Yeah, and well, and Friday was the day that I went opposite of my typical setup, and the calls were short expiration because I was like, if they were going to go ahead and reclaim 300 to close Thursday, um, and I can keep an eye on Bitcoin. It wasn't really doing much, but wasn't breaking down. And that 108, that was the number I said. So I'm like, okay, it tapped that and didn't go further down. So the opportunity here is to pop above 300. It went further than I thought, so that was nice. But yeah, it was 300C. Like that was the
The
call I
trade,
bought.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so and to me, and once I didn't get that full move. Just look at the pullbacks. Like you're just not. I mean, a short expiration option. What the hell are you doing? It goes to 305. You're gonna wait it out under 304. That's stupid.
Hey,
No, I don't do that.
hey, you
So
said you.
it was just that one move. Sell into this, the fat green candle, and you're done. But yeah, that was what I was thinking there.
You said you bought some shares. I'll allow it.
I did, yeah. No, I did. I bought shares on Thursday.
I like it.
You can look at the timestamp. It was 298 and
Yeah,
295.
I like it.
Where I bought shares.
Good ass red candle entry, P. Proud of you.
Yep. Yep.
You got anything else, or want to roll over? Or?
um. Uh. No, I'm good. I will say, earning season, we wind back down and then wind back up, and I will say that the periphery on earnings, the 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 late slash early ones, it's actually where some of the best reads are, where people are like, oh, there's nothing going this week, and all of a sudden Helena Troy is there, one like that. So yeah, be mindful of that.
Well,
Those in the room.
Q4
Um,
usually better than Q3 because Q3 kind of in the thick of it. Q4 they start talking about their outlooks and stuff. It's always
yeah,
hopeful. They try to be hopeful. And then with the rates coming down, if you get those guys that are anticipating, and then the John Deere guys of the world, let the good company guys talk shit about their company so we can buy it on discount.
yeah, yep. All right, you want some boring stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so get off the minute chart here. um,
You're fired.
Gold, yeah, yeah, gold is I mean, probably going to 4,000. I would say. Why would it not at this point? Can't really buy it, can't really short it, so it is what it is. Silver, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is I don't know. I try not to be like wow, this is crazy. Um, I try not to say that. I hate when people say that, but I mean it is pretty remarkable what it's done, and this is kind of the um, the breakout that you see. Uh, they're very, I don't know if I'd call them crowded, but like everyone's noticed it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they didn't notice it. You know, back when we were talking about it several times, but yeah, just incredible moves here. The sort of historic, generational, whatever. So you're just going to see a lot of continued reporting on that, and so finding opportunities. They're going to be smalls, laggers, distressed smalls, bad news. Um, I have had a few gold stocks pop up. I threw in collabs, and one of them you thought looked pretty good. So within this environment, I do think you could still see some. I just it's not going to be Poss and Barrick at this point.
Yeah. No, we gotta. I mean, kind of want to, as devil advocate, are we? When are we gonna be done with the trade? But I mean, there's some meat on. I like silver better than gold, but um,
Yeah,
the bulk of the trade. I mean, you should really be playing with house money. That's the best way to say it. Um, I think there's still some miners out there that are good. More
Yeah.
so, more silver, and then I think we're gonna probably get some South American companies that do good. But I what we need to be said right now, P, is that we're not gonna get 200, 300, 400% moves on anything in gold and silver, no matter what, from here on out.
Right.
Like you're gonna get a 20 or 30% trade, and that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, even this one was the one that was really shitty for a long time, and just completely, still falling during much of the move. I mean, you could see even in March,
Yeah, yeah,
April. I mean,
yeah. That's a good one. You
but
could get 18 out of that, right?
yeah,
Just
yeah,
I'm just bullshitting on what I'm looking at, but I'm just saying that has
right, right.
something left. That's the big move. That would be like the big move.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, it's and what I'm getting at with this one is like this was easy to find during when the gold thesis started to play out, and we were talking in Q1 about what I thought gold would do. You kind of scoffed at me,
Q4,
uh, rightfully so.
Q4,
But
Q4,
it was like, yeah.
not one. Q4.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Q4. But that it would be the Q1 move. That's what. But anyway, that you could still find a lot of them like this and park and wait. You cannot park and wait anymore. You better be monitoring that trade at this point. Um, just because this could go back to $8 in a blink.
Hey, I
Um,
started off like you're full of shit, but by like late January, early February, I was just buy AG and gold.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The ticker gold, which I mean,
Right, right.
I got that at 15. AG, I couldn't tell you my actual number because we were damn near free before it got to 6. Um,
Yeah,
and then all the other ones, I mean, I didn't get a ton of them, but I didn't get a big piece of a lot of them, but I got a lot of them. Um, from
yeah. Mux
MUX
and
and on,
ones.
yeah, and even
Yeah,
the secondary move on Neem for me was really good. I got a decent amount of that. Yeah,
yeah.
I just
Neem
go ahead. Sorry.
had one bad earnings report that was
Yeah,
helpful
but it went right
to
back
get
to the
back.
level.
Right, right. Yeah,
That's the thing for me. That's always have been the thing about the levels. P is like let it flush and please flush here.
yeah,
Like please flush
right.
here. And I don't know, just a little safety. So you're just gonna have to be picky and reasonable expectations on gold now. I just think we need to say that at this point.
Yeah, right, I do. And I will say that I would encourage people to avoid binary thinking of um, I missed this, or
Yeah,
like
no.
that. It's not always just a yes no question like that. You missed this iteration of the trade, which was probably the best one. Um, but there often is still a trade there, and so it depends a lot on your style and you know what you're looking for. I mean, yeah, yeah. If you want to buy the frying pan bottom setup is what you do. Yes, you did miss it. But if
You could have bought AG
these
at
these
8,
exactly right. Yeah, yeah.
but
You could have bought it at 8 and be
yeah, again, I mean, not to, I mean, highlight the section, but I mean, that's kind of the point of any channel is to let you know that, like, there's the first trade is in here. There should be a second trade we're looking for. You don't buy AG at, 12, 10, $12 without that flow read and that reset up
yeah.
from our system. I mean, we've seen that a few times. I'd rather trade the chart than just holding hope. And it seems like when you get up there, you're holding hoping for a 50-50 move, whether you're if you get it at 10 or you going 12 or back to 8. Um, yeah, just better ratio. Always start with the ratio.
Yes, yeah, totally. All right, so copper,
There we go.
very sort of interesting developments in copper. I mean, for one thing, the chart itself altogether is pretty strong. Had the big pop going mid candle on that little daily thing. So anyway, it's business as usual here. Still looking for that retest of 5. But you had a copper name that um, got
What?
news and just tanked, plummeted right to a line I had. So that's, I'm not going to give that one for free to people. You ought to be able to figure it out. But so that there's an opportunity there, and even within the other name we like.
Yeah, it ain't mine because mine's up 20%. What are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah. The
It's like,
and I had actually, I think I cautioned people about the distinction between those two, that the one's a lot harder. But
oh, I know what you're talking about now.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
So anyway,
I
so
still
that
like
I still
aluminum.
like
I
this.
still like the aluminum charts better, but I think all metals, materials, steel, all that shit's gonna be good here. It's just chilled for a little too long, and um, yeah, I just think
Yeah, aluminum. I think that's, just I guess the boom in tangible things that I think. Because, so to me, that's a big secondary part of the AI stuff, is it requires a lot of new construction and a lot of energy, and
even in data centers, if that's a thing, I know they think it's Alabama or Arkansas or some shit. They're building one, and they're just massive. Like,
yeah, it's like the size of Manhattan.
yeah, it
Yeah,
may not be an
it's crazy.
infrastructure for a bridge, but there's some steel that goes into that. There's some aluminum that goes into that.
Yeah,
There's some stuff, and then all the chips. You got all those rare earths that actually go in the processors or whatever the computer shit when it's done. Servers, whatever.
yes. So the first aluminum break over 300 was too parabolic and not sustainable. Grind up and breakout is kind of what I'm thinking this time. Um, so we'll see. But I don't trade the aluminum stocks off the aluminum chart. It's actually the copper chart works better for it. So
Yeah,
um,
that's why I always bring it up.
so
I agree.
yeah. All right. So then oil and
Oh,
natural
do you
gas.
see that? Do you see the oil news story? I didn't catch the country, but like they're trying to bypass a pipeline, but putting it on barges and then taking it to another country so they can
Yeah,
ship it.
that's related to SOC, by the way. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
probably why I
So
seen
they're
it.
yes, and I think that you have a favorable political environment to get some oil moving, and particularly to me, it's the transportation, tankers, midstream stuff. Um, so I like those midstream and storage. Those are the two areas I think
I
are
mean, I
are
said
good, and then
last
large
week.
caps too.
Last week was a good week to buy the bigger names. Don't go look at those charts, but that price stability really helps those guys out. Um,
Yeah,
and then we nailed the smaller ones over the summer. I mean, Dina was amazing. BP did okay too, but and then if you're investing, we all know the one, buy with Buffett.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm glad Pele's
And
in that. It's a good one for him.
natural gas, by the way. So this was a contract switch, so ignore the 10%. Um, that's a little bit artificial. Doesn't really move the stocks or whatever. But the yeah, so price is kind of reset. But again, I'll just go to the weekly on it. So yeah, I like this a lot. I just think we're setting up to retest that recent pop towards 5, and then we'll see. But it's a $5 to $7 commodity, and then you know can move to 9. Um, I don't think you see 14 again anytime soon, but
Yeah, no.
yeah, I think we get back up into this, that original plummet it had, recover that. Equilibrium's like 650 or so.
There you go.
That's my take on it. Yep. Um, 10-year.
Perfect.
So I mean, you zoom out on this, it kind of tells a story. A little closer, but Yeah, I mean, you could see this pop into 4.4 or something like that. But I don't know, no big deal. Opportunity. It's not likely to surge past 5. I think there's just too much intervention that will happen to to keep that steady. So as long as this is steady, I think our setups continue to move our direction.
Short term, we got to get around this shutdown bullshit. Um, Long term, like quarter or two, if the 4.5 to me is a stretch. Even um, we got where I wanted to be. I think we live here for a little while. Let's say 410, 430. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, if we're moving above 4.5, 4.6, 4.8, 5, that's not problem, but there's something going on, and I don't think that's good for the market. So, um,
It'd be outside what their plans are.
yes,
Their plan is to have it right here. So
yes,
um, it's about maintenance at this point. They got it where they want it, and so as long as they keep it there, we're
yeah. I didn't like how we got here. We talked about that, P. That flush here. I didn't like how we got
yep.
there, but it really didn't fuck with the market too much. I mean, we still haven't got that 3% spy red day.
Yeah, no, it shrugged it off, and part of it is you had your data releases pump and stabilize things a bit. Then you didn't get the follow through on that. Like PCE comes out,
Yeah,
the market, you know, had been like, let's say it's spies down 0.25%, and then it goes up 0.3. Well, you're not going to get the follow through to 1. You might even just retrace down, but it's where you're falling from. You're not falling from point 0.2 to 1.2. You might fall from 0.2 to negative half, whatever. Seems like a disaster for your zero DTE traders, but it's no big deal in the grander scheme of things. All right, the interesting that I brought up EXY, um,
last week.
and it surged a bit last week, so it was just sort of at a spot where it was going to bounce. But again, anything around 98 is not a big deal. If this surges towards 100, be mindful of the pop and fade. That's that's the setup more than just a trend day down, but you're just not going to hold early gains if this is surging.
Word.
And I'm talking mostly like large caps when I say that. Smalls don't really care that much. They do their own thing. Um, all right, can we talk Bitcoin?
Yeah, we got
Do it.
to.
Yeah. All right. So I not to be one of those people like I have this big upside target. I'm gonna spike the football on my downside target, but it did hit that 108
The one
that I
out
talked
of
about.
5 times you got it right. Sorry, Pete.
Yeah, yeah, there you go, there you go. Yeah, but I know, but when you're trading weekly options, that's everything. I mean,
Oh,
that's
I trade
you
shares, so I need real moves.
if yeah, right. So that's why you don't like it. But so this is I don't know, the kind of a decision point on the 4 hour. I don't know what to call this shape or whatever, but you don't want 108 to break down
We're good.
because
That was a good call. That was a good
you're gonna
call. I agree with that. You run the
yeah.
tape back. I was like, yeah, that's a good spot. Um, I mean, it's 50 candles, like I said last week, so we're -7 on that now. So we got 43 left, but we're living in this zone. P. It's just what it is. It's tradable for you. Um, yeah, 108's a good spot for
Do
look for
you
relief to the upside.
do you think is 120 a stretch from here?
This week,
Yeah.
no, it's not happening. You could probably get
All
to
right.
116 and then get to 120 over the weekend. That might happen. Yeah, that might happen.
Okay.
Something in there, and then I mean, yeah. But to be honest, I bet you reject that 12 and a half, 13 a couple times, and then just stay here. And then that'll be
Uh,
the conversation you want to have right now. We're gonna have next weekend. I need 50 candles, sir.
yeah. Well, I will say if it surges between 112 and 115, I got some stuff to sell, and then I'll reload. That's the read right now is that unless Asia overnight dumps it, which sometimes happens.
That's been a
But
thing, yeah, right? That
yeah,
liquidity.
yeah.
I'm
Right.
super. What? How do? Let's go where Unk's at and get you on that page. How do you feel about not getting the aggressive weekend moves lately?
Oh, I think that's a function of it working its way into so many ETFs and big funds that
So, so the
it
retail,
starts to behave more like stocks.
so the retail
Re,
mop
yeah,
heads can't control it on the weekends.
no, they can't, and so they're in the meme coins. I haven't even looked at meme coins in months. You probably want me to continue to not look at them, but
I
it's
mean, y'all do what you want, but I'm not. I'm not doing that.
uh,
That might be when you know the top comes in though. No, I'm just playing.
I,
um,
I I will say okay. So I will say this. A key word that's tarnished and kind of dead will have its day again, and that's blockchain. So I do think that the blockchain trade. I'm going to do my shot call, not for any time soon. This time next year, let's see if the blockchain trade is back.
yeah,
I think it's coming back.
where are you? I like the data center trade better. I like that the conversion to those, and at least in the stock names.
Well, right. The blockchain divorced from Bitcoin
Oh, okay.
as
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. I
a
got you. I got you.
as a cybersecurity
Utility.
applications
Got you.
utility, right? Utility of blockchain as its own thing, rather than
Money.
shaking off the meme coin, like the crypto speculation aspect,
All right.
to where we're actually going to use this shit,
I
and it's
like
going to
it.
be government, and it's going to be you know S and CrowdStrike and people like that. So yeah,
Squared and blocked.
yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Oh yeah, yeah. So right, and we'll PayPal.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how those
yeah,
get back into the mid 100s, upper 100s.
yep,
It's with that kind of. Yeah.
yep.
No, with you.
All right. Let me see. I think that's. Can we
Yeah.
talk spy?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get out of here. Shouldn't be too long
Yeah,
a conversation.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Got a doji on the weekly. Um, Said we need to pull back out of doji. That 660 kind of turning into a pivot. Um, yeah.
can we talk dojis for a second?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So for me, the options trading on the smaller time frame, right? I
Okay.
see it. I have the aggressive move, and I'm looking to get out. I see a doji of any kind, I'm out. Um,
Interesting.
because they so often are then gonna retrace half of that strong move that
Okay.
I'm in.
Okay.
I don't want to sit through that. But can you talk about doji on the larger time frame for a second?
Well, yeah. Like so, the weekly is. I don't. If it's on a 5 minute chart, I have a script for it, but I really don't put too much into them unless the volume of that candle, like if it's 5 minute, is like 200% of the normal volume of the last like 4 or 5 candles. Different story. Here, I, if you just look at the last two weeklies on SPY, they have similar volume and they have similar
Yeah.
price range. The price ranges are almost identical. It's just the open and close of the week that gave you the body of the candle. So for me, it's just that they are really in control this week. They got to
Yeah.
trade lots of shares, and the price didn't move on them at all. They controlled it. We have to move out of this zone. For me, I don't think you're going to doji 4 times. That's just a
Yeah.
signal that we have to move out of the price zone. The price zone 354 to 367. So for me, you look for the action on your end at the 655 and 665, 667 or somewhere around there. And you see which one's stronger, and then you buy from an option standpoint, you buy the dips the other way or the over extended the other way.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so
that makes sense.
657 right there. There's your 657 on the putter
Yeah.
on this Friday side. So you can see them playing that there, right? And then they got everything on the top, but they don't really go. Doesn't look like they were even on Friday worried about like 666.
Nice. Yeah. So On SPY on my end, I do have the. I always look for two, but it's kind of a weird setup in that it's 600p February and 610 March. So that's still a little bit odd. I don't think those two are connected. To me, they are the first leg of something that needs a complement of some type, a strike above that. But I still don't have that. So I still just don't. What I'm looking for what is going to take us between 620 and 630, and where is the option set up where they're preparing, not necessarily thinking that's going to happen, but they want to be aggressively hedged for when it happens. And so they're a little bit fearless right now to me to just have the one leg of the thing, rather than something that they could maneuver more easily,
I
the
don't
boxing
see
glove.
the 50 on the day breaking. 643 right now is where it's at, and again that's
Okay,
going to
yeah,
change on the week, right? Like that's going to march up a little bit. Your read that 610 600 is the 50 on the weekly. I like the 3 year chart down here because you can see the build. I mean, we're just not going to break down that many levels without some significant news. And then you look at what's most important there. It's 637, and then there's another little one at 625. But again, I would go back to your first test is that 644 on the 50 SMA on the day, and we haven't touched our last touch of that P was May, and we were within sniffing. Well, we didn't. That's a strong flush because it didn't even test it. Um, September 1. So, but for me, that
Mm,
September 1 move is just people in and out for the last quarter, right? Like that's your big
yeah,
rotation
yeah,
of that. So, and it's strength. So as long as you're following this trend of the 50, I just don't see things changing. If you're on a minute chart, there's going to be some days that look like hell, but they recover. Like that day they recover. So your short term fear, you just kind of missed out on the whole move if you trade the chart. That's still what I'm playing. That's a
yeah.
good example. P up here. This is one. If I was an options trader of SPY, I wouldn't try to play the downside. I would still be looking for the daily pullback to a pre-market low yesterday, high a day, and play the
Well, yeah.
secondary move off of
So
that.
people talk about the V-shaped recovery that we get every day. Um, yeah, I'd rather be on the right side of the V than the left side of the V. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because you can see it as it starts to take shape and Goose spots it. That you can trade some calls here, and it's safer for a couple reasons. Like, chasing a put it's hard to get a fill, so you got to keep moving the price that you buy it up. So even if I've identified the move and I can't get into that contract for $50 to $75 later, I'm in it, and that's buying a safe one. That's not buying the $30 one. A relatively safe one.
Sure.
So you've already so it's like I'm correct, but I already missed out on 15-20% of my correct read. And so now I'm already looking to get out, getting in much later than I want. Whereas with um, the calls are distressed. You can get a bargain on them. You can get a bid side fill on the rebound, and then they surge. Demand goes up, and you can get a fill at the ask selling the thing. So that's why it's so much better. That recovery is where you want to be if you do trade SPY. So the one thing I'll close with here is that, all hands on deck for buying shares of AMD and Nvidia and AVGO and stuff like that. We're a long ways off from that moment. That is not likely within this current setup to me.
No, no, there's just no appetite for that kind of pullback in anything. In my opinion. Do you know when that's going to happen, P? Last comment from me. First of the year, sir.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Profit takers. I think that's when you'll see that again. I mean, we had it this year too, though.
Do
I said it. I said it this year too.
you think? I mean, we're a ways off from it, but like midterm elections, um, that the market could sour on that, or do you think divided government would be good?
I think
Stability,
any
you know.
change from the current format isn't good for the market because we're so clear.
Yeah.
Like we're so clearly on one side right now that if you get a
Mhm.
mix of anything, it's gonna seem like it's gonna slow things down and gridlock, not be a lot of common interest. So if we can keep
Yeah.
it, if we can, and it worked the other way when we had the blue wave, and but the market was good then too. Um,
Right. Right.
it's just about yeah the more red I think, and then we get back to hopefully the the infrastructure stuff that we've been talking about. So
Yeah, and I will too, like to try to be as much of a neutral observer as possible. You know, politically, it's interesting to me that you know, I think your the algorithms of social media can really sort of influence the thinking that we are in like unrecoverable disaster of democracy.
oh yeah yeah
However, the market likes it, you know. So the and I just you have to just the Wall Street lens looks at things differently than the English department, you know. And I you know, so I guess or whatever you're in, that you know, politically, um, I would agree that a kind of consensus of a direction,
it's always
you know,
better.
is typically pretty good. And even I think people were surprised that you know a blue government that the stock market could do
Well,
so
it's a
well, but they should have seen it coming because it did fine under Obama too.
it's
So
the
I don't know.
sectors that are different. I think we identify that well. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
having clarity in the where they're going to want to move is always best. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. You ready to get
Yep.
to work, Pete?
Yeah, let's do it.
Like and subscribe link somewhere.